Somebody watching you, spying on you. A nasty feeling. I was really worried that day, but I didn't want to frighten Jill and Mrs. Sharp because they were already worried about the stolen sheep. Mrs. Sharp's been very good to me. When I was at school, I used to work here every Saturday. I'm the shepherd now, and Mrs. Sharp has given me this cowshed to use as a workshop. I can do anything I like here. I can stick things all over the wall if I want to. Go and have a look at my collection. That's my favourite photo. My workmate. No need to tell you his name. Jill sticks labels on everything. Yes, that's it. Sweep the sheepdog. That's a good sound, that. Do you know why? I just think. Yes. Sweep and sheep rhyme. And not only that, they start with the same letter. Of course, Sweep has a capital S because that's his name. He's a grand dog, is Sweep. Here's another of my friends. Do you know who it is? There's no need to guess his name if you can read his label. Mr. West, the warden. No rhyme there, but I can see two words starting with the same letter. Can you? Well, look and listen. West and warden. Mr. West is the warden of our local youth hostel. You'd like him. He's done a lot for me in the past. He got me this job here, you know. Oh, I know, he looks a bit fierce, but he makes you laugh just the same. Do you remember what he called those two who were watching us? The beastly Beasley brothers. Hey, I've got a picture of them. Well, it's a slide, really. Yes, I know it's a bit small. What we need is a pair of binoculars. And that's what I've got here. You say it. You know how binoculars work. Well, take a look at my workbench. Now look at it through the binoculars. Ah. But how does that help you see the Beasley brothers? Well, come over here and I'll show you. I made this. I made this on wet days. I found a few bits and pieces and put them together. It only needs a pair of binoculars and our picture stretcher is complete. I'll switch it on. Put the slide in the chute. It's the first time I've shown it to anybody. Now, I pull this lever and the pictures will appear on that screen. There they are, watching us. The beastly Beasley brothers. They looked frightening at the time, but the warden made them sound like little boys. Do you remember the names? Let's have them back. Ted and Dennis. Ted is the taller one. The names sound a little bit alike. It's that E saying eh in Ted and eh in Dennis. It's also in West. Is it in the name of any other friends? Do we put a eh there between the M's? No, it's not mem, it's... Well, Jill will tell you what sound we need there. Here she comes.
Mom? Mom? Mom?
You. That's my name. I bet no other letter is used as often as you.
I am. I'm in use all the time. Oh, dear, no. O is far more popular. Everyone goes for O.
A. Wait a minute. A is more useful than any of you. Just think of all my little words. There's at, and bat, and hat.
But I fit in it and bit.
Hang on. I'm as good as you any day. Think of fun, and bun, and mum.
Oh, yes. But watch out for dog, and top, and stop.
E. I'm best. In west, in Ted, and in bed. Look, we're all needed. No words can do without us, can they?
I agree.
I agree. Yes. A's my name, but just the same. The sound for that is A in bat and band, in hat and hand. It's a great old game when A's your name. E's my name, but just the same. My sound is E in west. I'm also E in best. I'll take a bet you've seen me in wet. I'm often in bed. And of course, in Ted. It's a great old game when E's your name.
I is my name, but just the same. I'm in fit in a horse's bit. And if you will, I'll appear in Jill. I'm often ill, but I'll get by if you remember I. It's a great old game when I's your name. Who is my name but just the same? I'm O in dog, in log, in frog. I'm O in dog, and O in frog, in top, in stop.
Stop's the word. Go on, get off. It's my turn.
Oh, it's a great old game when O's your name.
You, that's my name, but just the same, is the noise in such bad boys as rustlers and hustlers and mug and gun. But don't be glum, there's always mum and bun and fun. It's a great old game if you's the name. But you need us all. Come on, everybody, all together now. You can't do without us, there's no doubt about us. We're meat in every sandwich, we're filling in the cakes. If words are what you're after, then we've got what it takes. Words can't do without us, there's no doubt about us. With the sounds you really need to make the words you want to read.
That's what they think. I'm the Y in spy.
The warden called binoculars spying glasses. I love the way the warden talks. Your mum, local lads, that pair up there. Most people in the north of England sound a bit like that. I suppose some of you sound just like Mr. West and me. But some of you will say mum and fun differently. Some will say castle farm, while I say castle farm. I like that. No matter where you come from, you always carry around something of the place or of your family in the way you speak. I think those differences are good. But the great thing is, however we say the words, we write them in exactly the same way. I say, when in doubt, write it out. And that's what I've done. So, whether you're in Bristol or Birmingham or Glasgow or Gosport or anywhere, read aloud in your own way the words I've set down for you. It's part of our story. Ready? I didn't know why the Beasleys were watching us, but even then, I felt sure it had something to do with the missing sheep. A small farm like ours can't afford to lose many sheep or it just goes broke. But I didn't want to worry Jill and Mrs. Sharp, because they were already upset about Mike Burns. This is Mike Burns, the foreman. He seemed like our friend. But then one day, he said he was leaving and he wouldn't give any reason. Well, I better get off back to work. But now you'll see what happened next. Till next week. I was frightened. From the minute I saw the Beasleys' farm, I felt scared. I'm brave enough now when I can make it disappear, like this. It's easy to feel brave just thinking about it. But when I was actually there, when I rode up to the gate, even the name sounded frightening. Do you know what it was? You read it. Storm Cross Farm. That's a good name for that bleak place swept by winds and storms. The farmhouse looks so spooky. Take another look. I don't usually walk into other people's houses, but the farmhouse looked deserted, empty. It wasn't. No sooner had I found dozy Dennis snoring away than I was pounced on by terrible Ted. I wished I'd never started. It's funny. Thought that was all. Ah, words. Let's read them. A message. A message for Joe, for me. Well, I wonder who could have sent me a message. I bet it's Jill. It's a puzzle. She's left some of the words unfinished. Oh, we can soon solve that. Just read the first words. Clean out. Now, what letter do we need to complete the next word? Dib? Diff? Thil? No, those aren't words. This. Clean out this. Oh, you can guess the next word. Did you say room? Well, does it make sense? Clean out this room. Suppose it does. She's a cheeky girl, that Jill. And that's not all. There's something else as well. Oh, it's an easy puzzle now. This room, and we can read the next words, is filled with... Ah. Now what word do we need there? Think of a word beginning with sh. Sheep. This room is filled with sheep. Utter nonsense. Perhaps you might find a clue in my collection. Ah, canty. No sh there. Horses. No sh there. Hey, wait a minute. Shire horses. Shire horses. This room is filled with shire horses. Hey, wait a minute. Perhaps I got it wrong. Perhaps sh is at the end of the word. Well, does that make sense? This room is filled with rubbish. We've solved it. Oh, aye. So Jill thinks it's time I clean my room, eh? Hey, isn't it easy to think of words beginning with sh? I'll show you what I mean. Don't shout. You'll scare the sheep.
A shepherd and his sheep may go to sleep, but we're wide awake in shiver and shake. Shake, 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 shake. Oh yes, when H follows S, it's sh as in shout. You can't do without us in ship, shallow shape, in shall and in shallow, in shade and in shadow, in shell, shelter, shock. You can't mistake us in shake, shake, shake.
Shake? Shake? They're just the rhythm girls. They can't even shake without me. I'm the magician in this show. When I appear, certain letters will be made to say their names. Sounds will change before your very eyes. Those two, S and H. They don't recognize their betters. They're just a pair of letters. But me, you'll see. I'm magic, 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 magic-y. Wait for it, folks. It's a great trick. A cap is a cape with me. A tap is a tape with me. See how it's done? A mat is a mate with me. A hat is a hate with me. Even a rat will rate with me. That becomes fate with me. Because I'm magic, magic, magic-y. Take a twin that's twine with me. Take a win that's wine with me. A pin becomes pine with me. Take a thin that's fine with me. It's fine, 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 fine with everybody. I'm magic, 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 magic-y.
He thinks he's wonderful, but his magic won't work on us. As long as we stick together, we'll say shh, but keep it quiet. Shh.
As long as we stick together. That could be the watchword of the Beastly Beasley brothers. They certainly stick together. Ted was frightening enough without Dennis backing him up. And when they both came at me, Ted's hand dripping blood, I thought I'd never get out alive. Mind you, as soon as I knew the blood was only marking paint, I felt a little less scared. Marking paint. Do you know how we use marking paint on sheep? I'll show you on this drawing. Now you put your name on a book to show that it belongs to you. Well, a farmer puts his mark on his sheep to show that they belong to him. He marks the ears. If the sheep has horns, he marks the horns. And in some parts of the country, he uses marking paint on the body. We all do round here. At Castle Farm, we use red paint to make this mark on the shoulder. The sharp mark. The Beasleys also use red paint, But their mark is on the tail. That's the Beasley mark. Nothing sinister about Ted Beasley having marking paint on his hands. It wasn't that which made me suspicious. It was something else. I knew they were lying. Do you remember what they said about Mike Burns? We don't know any Mike Burns. That's what Ted said. Well, that's a lie, because we saw Mike Burns getting into the Beasley's truck. There was a real mystery surrounding Mike. And with the help of what I've made, I'll tell you what that was. From an old typewriter, I've made a type lighter. I'll type out what I want to tell you, and you read it out loud as the words appear on this screen. Ready? That's what was worrying me. Did you read it? What, Mad Mick tack a job with Ted? That's not what I typed. It's those E's. What made Mike take a job with Ted? That's what was puzzling me. Mind you, we did have a clue. Our clue was in the letter that we found, and you can read about that. Are you ready? Then I'll see you outside in a minute or so. Blackmail. That was the clue. As soon as I saw blackmail, I began to think Mike might be in real trouble. So I raced off to ask him straight out what it was all about. I know I didn't set about it in the right way, but when I got kicked out, I didn't leave it at that. Hello there. First thing I want to tell you about is our sheep book. This is it. It's the Sheepkeeper's Book of Sheep Marks. That's almost a tongue twister. The Sheepkeeper's Book of Sheep Marks. I've written it out for you. You read it. Slowly will do. The Sheepkeeper's Book of Sheep Marks. It's a list of farmers who keep sheep in our area and the marks they use. I knew those sheep with the green marks weren't the Beasley sheep. Do you remember what the Beasley mark looks like? Red stroke on tail. So, when I saw this mark, green stroke on shoulder, when I saw that, I was suspicious. And when I saw this one as well, green dot on rump, I felt sure the sheep was stolen. Well, I wasn't sure what to do. I thought if I copied the marks, that would be proof. Then I realized the only proof was to get Mr. West to catch the Beasleys with the sheep in their yard. So I rode off as fast as I could to the hostel. Oh, I haven't shown you the hostel, have I? Here's a photograph of it. The word hostel is at the entrance. This, youth hostel. A hostel is a place where you can get shelter, but you can find out all about that for yourselves. When you're pressed and you have to make an important decision, you don't always know what's for the best. I suppose there were several things I could have done. I could have galloped straight to a phone box and called the police. Or I could have jumped out and accused the Beasleys. Well, you know what I did. Perhaps you would have done something different. And that's a question I'd like to ask you about. I can type it for you on the typewriter. Come on. You read it out as I type it. Here we go. That's my question. Oh, I'm not a typist, and that's not a question mark. It's an exclamation mark. That's what we need after phrases like, look out and be careful. I'll have another go. That's not a question mark either. It's a full stop. Here we go again. Now, is that a question mark? Yes. Now we can read the question. What would you have done? Imagine it was you who rode up to the Beasleys on Canty. You looked over the wall and saw the stolen sheep. What would you have done? Write and tell me. Now do, because I'd like to know. I'll look forward to hearing from you, right? Mind you, almost before I could think what to do, Canty was in the gateway and Dozy Dennis had seen him. Must be a champion sleeper, that Dennis. He can barely stay awake long enough to yawn. Come over to the picture stretcher and watch him try. I'm tired of farming. I'm tired of being in your farm. This is a barn dance. Okay, folks, take your partners. Form that square and link your arms. Into the center, arm in arm. Go down the middle and into the farm. They don't want that stuff. They want rhythm. Listen to you and we'll never get out of the farmyard. Clear the floor and swing it, sisters. A and R go on and on. like animals into the ark. A and R go arm in arm like animals into the ark. In many a wonderful word we make our mark.
Snap in shark. Snap in shark.
Sing in lark, sing in lark.
If it's games you're after, come into the park.
If you want to travel very far,
If you want to travel very far,
and if you want to travel very far,
we'll be right there in a racing motor car.
We shine in stars, we shine in stars.
Stick together in tar, stick together in tar.
If it's games you're after, come into the park.
If it's games you're after, come into the park. And if it's games you're after, come into the workshop. I fixed up a game with a picture stretcher. It's called Guess Who. I give you a clue, and then you guess who. It might be, guess who lent me candy, and you'd say, Jill. Now, when we use the picture stretcher, the clue will appear on this screen. You read it out loud, and then guess who. I'm not going to give you the answer. The picture stretcher will. Guess who lives at Stormcross Farm. The Beasley brothers live at Stormcross Farm. See that A and R together there in farm? Mind you, they're not the only letters that go in pairs. Look at Storm. See that ST together there? St. Storm. On with the game. Guess who was fast asleep. Dennis was fast asleep. Can you see the ST again? Not at the beginning of the word this time, but at the end. Next clue, coming up. Guess who was standing in the gateway. Did you get it? There he is. Canty was standing in the gateway. You can't escape that ST combination. Ready for the next one? Guess who said beasts, the pair of them. Mr. West said beasts, the pair of them. Easy to spot the ST sound there. Beast, West. There we are again. Back with Mr. West. I always go to him when I'm in trouble. Well, you've seen that for yourselves. First thing I did, I rode straight to the hostel to find him. You read it. No matter where you are, whether you're in Farnborough or Cardiff, Stockport or Stoke, read aloud from our story. Right? With a friend like Mr. West, you don't have to ask. He jumps in immediately he thinks you need help. That's a real friend. Whereas Mike, he certainly let us down by leaving Castle Farm. But then he didn't let me down at the Beasley brothers. He went to work for the Beasleys, but he didn't seem to be on their side. Not exactly. I was hoping to have a talk with him as I drove back to the Beasleys with the warden. But it didn't happen quite like that. See you next week. 1 in 3 kept running through my head. I knew Mike had something important to tell me, but I couldn't make sense of the code. And it's strange that, because normally I'm good at codes. I've just had a code message from this chap. He didn't shout, "Hey, I don't feel too well, get me a doctor." He just bleated, didn't you? I limped a bit. He was giving me a code message, you see. I talk to him in code too. The way I pick him up, the way I look at his ears and his eyes. Oh, he understands me. Yeah, don't you?
Hey, anyone around? Joe?
Oh, hello.
What's all this? Skulking indoors.
No, I found this one with a bit of a limp. So I'm just having a look at his feet.
Oh, casualty, eh? Wouldn't be foot rob, would it?
No, not on him. Look there, between the hooves.
Oh, no.
Yeah, nothing there. I misunderstood his code this time. He's not hurt. He just wants a bit of attention.
Yeah, he's spoilt, that's his trouble. I see you're going to get a good fleece off him.
Aye, we should do. You have hair. A sheep has wool. All the woolly coat which is taken off the sheep at shearing time, that's called the fleece. I knew you'd be a good one as soon as you were born.
Oh, did you? You're getting to be quite an expert, Joe.
Oh, come on, not me. Little I know I picked up off Harry Crabtree. He really knows about sheep. Hey, those are his prizes over there. Have you seen them before?
Oh, yes, I remember this one very well. I saw him win it. It was the Blackpool show year before last, wasn't it? Oh, yes. Harry Crabtree wins first prize. But what's this one, Joe? What's this lad?
That's Harry Crabtree too. Harry Crabtree, aged 8. His dad won him that prize, though. Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. Your time will come.
Oh, I'll never be as good as Harry. Here's a photo of him. You remember what he came for that day? You read it out. He came to shear our sheep. He comes every year, and every year we take the wool to a factory. In 10 bridges. The factory in 10 bridges. Hey, isn't that mother calling for a young'un? Oh, look, I won't be a minute. Have a look round.
Right.
Oh, and there's a new gadget you haven't seen yet.
A new gadget?
Aye.
Hmm. I wonder where it is. Hello, what's this? No, wait a minute. I've seen this one before. I wonder, dare I? Take a chance, eh? Right.
There we are.
There we are. I knew I could do it. Oh, yes, that's it. Oh, easy as wink. Here, what's happening?
I'm sleepy. Sleep? Who needs sleep? We're going on a spree.
You see,
To ease
make glee,
and make whoopee.
it's ease.
You see,
In the middle
of next week.
You need
To ease,
to make two dancing feet
to ease.
that meet.
Keep any party sweet.
Listen, listen. It's a
see it glisten. But no matter how you listen, you'll never hear that silent tea.
Not even in a whistle?
Not even in a whistle.
But ease
Won't heed
the rustler's silent deed.
they're free
You see, to sweep around at speed. In reels,
on wheels,
it's always you see.
in reels.
On wheels, it's always you see.
Oh, yes, well, it did work, didn't it? Still, that's not the gadget I'm looking for. I wondered if it's in there. Good heavens, here it is. I wonder what he calls it. It's the funniest looking typewriter I've ever seen. I wonder if I could type a message for Joe. No, I'll tell you what. I could set him a puzzle, see if he can work it out. A code, that's it. Well, that used to be part of my job in the war, you know, solving codes. I was with Monty, Field Marshal Montgomery, attached to his headquarters. Right, now, where's the paper? How does he type without paper? Oh. Oh, that's clever, that's very clever. Oh, that Joe really is a genius. Right, now the clue to my code for Joe is... Ready? Hey, Joe, come in here. I found your wonderful little gadget.
I see.
And I've typed out a message for you in code.
Well, it's not in code, is it? It's just letters missed out.
I know it might not be a slap bang of code, not the sort we used in the war, but the point is, can you solve it?
Well, can you read Mr. West's
Hey, no, hang on a
message?
minute. I know they can do it. I mean, they're clever. I want to know whether you can do it.
Right, so...
Oh.
Need. Now, can we put two E's in the next word? Yes, sweep and in seek. Oh, I've cracked the code. Now we can read the message. You ready? You need sweep to seek rustlers.
Oh, well done.
Ah, well, good fun that. But now I must do some work. I've had my chance to read. Your chance is coming up. You ready?
Well, that machine was brilliant, Joe, brilliant. But I'll tell you what I'd really like you to invent.
And what's that?
A machine for inventing code.
Oh, yeah, well,
See you, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, here's your new pet. He knows who his friends are.
aye. He knows who his friends are. And so do I. Take Jill. She's kept my spirits up many a time. That time when we were setting off for 10 bridges.
Joe, why should we care? Joe will win out. Yes, we'll win out. We'll win out in the end. La la la. Joe's not here. Now's my chance to make a few changes. The trouble with this place is it's much too serious. Much too serious. I keep telling Joe people won't have a laugh. Well, look at these pictures, for example. Have you ever seen such serious pictures? Take these piglets. I'd say they look bored. What do they know about Joe and his machines and his photos? I know what they're thinking. No sign of dinner. Ah, here's good old Sweep. I'll bet while Joe was dreaming, all Sweep was longing to say was, "Coming for a walk, Joe?" And this little thing, he'd be screaming, "Hands off. You only love me for my wool."
And what are you doing here then, eh?
Nothing, Joe. I was only bringing you a new picture for your collection.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. Hey, look at that. You know what that is? But look what Jill's written underneath it. Canty in the stable. You read it. Canty in the stable. Oh, that's great, that. Yep, my collection's looking really... And what have you gone and done that for then, eh?
Well, I thought it was an improvement. You make some talking pictures now instead of silent ones. All right, then. You can take them off. They're only pinned on. But we'll read them first. We'll read them together. Ready? No sign of dinner. Coming for a walk, Joe? Hands off. You only love me for my wool.
Yeah, very clever. But you're not as clever as the animals, because they managed to tell me all those things without saying a word. Which is more than you can do. They have their own code, you see.
Oh, you and your code. I've heard all about that. It's just, I think you're a bit serious about your collection.
Well, look, we are serious here. This is a workshop. Well, it's time we did some work. You'd be surprised what I can do with a picture stretcher now. Come on. I'll show you. You ready?
Ready.
Where's the proof?
We're just hoofers from the troop. You can see us loop the loop. See us play the fool or play it cool, for we're always rather loopy. Toot, toot, toot. Toot, toot, tooty. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's groovy to be ooh, for we're always rather loopy. A toot, 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 tooty. Oh, it's groovy to be ooh. We keep together every afternoon. We're always making rings around the moon.
Come on, boys and girls. All together. You've heard it all before.
We're just hoofers from the troop. You can see us loop the loop. See us play the fool or play it cool, for we're always rather loopy. Toot, toot, toot. Toot, toot, tooty. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's groovy rather loopy. A toot 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 tooty. Oh, it's groovy to be ooh.
Ooh! Someone's snooping.
Ing's always watching, waiting and watching. Ing makes snoop snooping. Ing makes snoop snooping. Ing makes troop trooping. Ing makes troop trooping. Ing makes cool cooling. Watch out for Ing. Ing's in moaning. Ing's in moaning. Watch out for Ing. Ing's in groaning. Ing's in groaning. Watch out for Ing.
Stop snooping, Snooper. Why don't you scoot? Before you get the boot.
For we make loot together, we're a hoot together, yes we hoot together, 'cause we're ooh, ba-doo-be-doo.
Oh, that's what you call work, is it? Well, I'll give you some work to do. I can ask you some nasty questions about that double O.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, can I have a go on your typewriter and I'll show you?
I knew she'd find some excuse to play with that. Hey!
I'll squash him flat. Is it ooh as in cool? Do you say wool? No, you say wool, don't you? And how about foot? And how about good?
Yeah, very good. Clever clogs. Which is right, you know. Two O's together do say ooh, as in fool. And they also say huh, as in look and read. Look and read. And that's what you're going to do now. It's reading time.
And remember when you're reading, ing in moaning, ings in moaning, watch out for ing. Ready?
Hang on, hang on. There's two words they need before they can start. You type. B-O-U-N-D. Bound. And G-A-G-G-E-D. Gagged. Bound and gagged. That's what you should be. Now we're ready to start, aren't we?
It's horrible thinking about Mum when she was hurt like that. In films, when people get hit on the head, They get up as if nothing had happened. Mum was in bed for a whole week. She could have died. I'll never hit anybody in the head like that.
I'll remind you of that next time you start bashing me up. Oh, come on. Your mum's all right now. Just cheer up. Tell you what, we'll sing your cheering up song. Then we'll all feel better. We can all sing.
Well, do they know the words?
Ah, I've thought of that. We can sing the verse, and everyone can join in the chorus. I'll give you the words to the chorus, and I'll provide the music.
Hey, what about me? Wait till I get my musical instruments.
You haven't got any.
One oil drum and a watering can.
You can't stop her. Now, you'll join in, won't you? I'd like to think that you're singing with us all over Britain. From Blackpool to Woking, from Liverpool to Hastings. So, as soon as you see the words, you join in. You ready? Okay, let's go.
La 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 la. Winds may blow in rain and snow, prospects may be frightening. Our sheep may drown, the house fall down, and my horse be struck by lightning.
Okay, you ready?
But we don't need to despair, Joe. Why should we care, Joe?
We'll win out, yes, we'll win out. We'll win out in the end.
Mystery letters may upset us, we'll end up seeing double. Big Ted Beasley may so easy land us in terrible trouble.
Say that again.
But we don't need to despair, Joe. Why should we care, Joe?
We'll win out, yes, we'll win out. We'll win out in the end.
Well, I hope you were singing that along with us.
They don't need to sing our words. We just made them up. You could make up your own words to our tune. I'll tell you what. You send your words to Joe, and Joe will try and sing them. Won't you, Joe?
Yeah, well, I'll have a try. No, but I'd like to see the words that you make up anyway. Somehow a song always makes me feel cheerful.
Oh, yes, you say that now. But what about the time when we met the Beasleys at the crossroads? Nothing would cheer you up after that. You wouldn't speak to me for days.
Shh. They don't know about that yet. Yeah, but you soon will. And you'll see us all, even Mr. West, do something so stupid we might have been killed. At last I knew what the Beasleys were doing with our sheep. They were going to change the marks and sell them to Mike's father for meat. Well, as soon as I heard that, I nearly burst out from the hiding place. But I knew what Big Ted would do if he got his hands on me, so I stayed there. You know where I hid. I'll write it for you. Can you read it? They're not hard words, you know. Is anything the matter with them? Well, you might say they're the wrong way around. Now can you read it? Ted's desk. And on Ted's desk, I found something which was very important. Do you know what it was? Some blotting paper. Now, on the blotting paper there was some strange writing. Well, why was it strange? Well, because the words were, well, you read. Of course. I'll turn it round for you. The wrong way round. And now the words are the right way round. The words on the blotting paper were the wrong way round. But by looking in that mirror, I had the proof. But suddenly I heard the Beasleys coming back. Well, I couldn't be caught now. Not after all Jill's efforts, not after the way she knocked at that door. Do you remember what happened then? Yes. Dennis came to the door. Now, do you remember what he did? Now, you read aloud all the words with the pictures. You right? He looked at Jill and gaped. Hey. That's it. He looked at Jill and gaped. Yes, we need that ED. And then I heard Ted ask, "Who is it?" He stutter, "It is that girl." Oh, there's something missing there. Do you know what we need? ED again. He stuttered, "It is that girl." I peered out and saw Ted come to the door. He shout, "Clear off." Oh, look, come on. Where's the ED? That's it. He shouted, "Clear off." If that pair came towards you, I bet you'd hide under the desk. If Ted had moved his feet another inch, I would have been discovered. All this time, Jill was outside, waiting. I felt sure she was scared, but she wouldn't give in. She's a determined girl, is our Jill. Well, you can see that.
The Beasleys must be stopped.
Look at the word till you've really looked. You'll find ED at the end.
Tramp, 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 tramp.
Tramp away till you've tramped all day. You'll find ED at the end. Stamp your feet till you've stamped all week. You'll find ED at the end. Jump till you've jumped. Jump till you've jumped.
You'll find ED at the end.
Stump till you've stumped. Stump till you've stumped.
You'll find ED at the end.
When something's happened, you always know you find ED at the end.
Watch it happen.
It's happened.
ED at the end. Tramp, tramp,
Tramp away till you've tramped all day. You'll find ED at the end.
tramp.
Stamp your feet till you've stamped all week. You'll find ED at the end.
Tramp.
You'll find ED at the end. That's easy enough. It's long words that worry me. Do you have difficulty in reading long words? Well, I've made a new gadget to solve the problem. It's here. Take this word. Can I read it? Yes, I can. Yes? Well, that's easy enough. Ter? Well, that's a bit funny. That's not a proper word. But never mind. And day? Well, I know that. Now, read the bits. Yes, ter, day. Now read them quickly. Yesterday. Let's try another one. Some and thing. Now, read them together. Slowly will do. Some thing. One last one. Thing. Well, we've had that before. Now, any. Well, put them together and see what happens. Any thing. Anything. I tell you what, though, they're not really jumping letters. I'll show you how it works. How do they jump? Simple. See these blocks here? They're attached to words on the front. When I move it, like this, the words on the front move too. And when I shut it, I ring the bell at the same time. So it goes like this. How do I make the sound? Well, simple. I have a bell here attached to a foot pedal. There's something very special about that last word. Very few words have that sound. The sound eh, any. And it's in many. Any. I need this reading practice. Well, I've a lot of reading to do these days. Your letters. There's hundreds of them. I enjoy reading them. But they're taking me an awful long time to answer. Still, we'll be reading together today. I'll be reading your letters while you read my story. Do you know where I am now? That's it. near to Stormcross Farm. Every time I went there, something dreadful seemed to happen. Mike was the reason I went this time. I thought he might have some of the answers. Well, I didn't find him, but for once my luck was in. Those few words on the blotting paper gave me the proof I needed. But I was still trapped in their house. And that was it. They'd left us to our fate. We never even heard them drive away. You couldn't hear a thing in there. Complete silence like that is terrifying. Here on this hillside, it seems quiet enough, I know. But in the countryside, it's never really silent. You hear comforting sounds that tell you life is going on all around you. Well, listen now. What do you hear? Do you hear that? Do you know what that is? Oh, yes, I know it's a bird. But what kind? It's a high flyer of a bird, that one. A lark. A skylark. You can hear a skylark singing. A skylark singing. What do you hear now? Now, that's no country sound. I think it's a lorry. Yeah, it's a lorry far away. A lorry far away. Listen now. What do you hear? Do you know what that is? Yeah, sheep. Sheep bleating. Sheep bleating. Well, I better get back and see there's nothing wrong. I'll see you in the workshop. But keep listening. Did you hear that sound just before I came in? What did it sound like? An owl hooting? An owl hooting? Well, it might have sounded like that, but the only owl around here is me. The word hoot sounds a bit like the noise. Listen again. Hoot. Mind you, there are several words that I can think of that sound like the noise. Like bang and crack. Well, that could even be snap. There are many words whose sound make you think of what they mean. And they're not all noisy words. Well, take action words. There are plenty in our story today. The minute the Land Rover stopped outside those buildings, things started to happen. Well, as soon as I jumped up... Jumped. There. That's a word that sounds like the action. Come over to the board, and I'll show you a picture of me jumping. Here it is. Now, you read it. I jumped out. I jumped out. I tell you what, I'll give you a couple of words, and you try and guess what they are. The clue will be in the picture. You ready? Okay. Ted did this to me. Grabbed. Ted grabbed me. Ted grabbed me. See if you can guess this one. He flung me into the darkness, and then he... The door. He slammed the door. He slammed the door. Now, you might have said banged, but slammed is what he did. And then, what a surprise. Mike Burns. But the reason Mike was there is to be found in a word which means something nasty. And you'll hear him say it.
It's blackmail.
A and I, we ride the plane together, and the trail takes us with it everywhere. A-I, nose to tail, we take the strain together, and the paint never dries before we're there. We're together without fail, in the rain
Or in the hail,
together all the way.
You can tie us to the rail.
Or we may land up in jail.
You will always hear us say,
A and I, we ride the plane together, and the trail takes us with it everywhere. If you listen, you'll hear that A and I sound in lots of words. Oh, what's that?
A and I, we ride the plane together, and the trail takes us with it everywhere.
What have you come for?
A-I.
Hey, now, why have they stopped by those nails? Oh, yes. A and I belong in nails. Pretty clever, eh?
And the paint never dries before we're there. We're together without fail, in the rain or in the hail, together all the way.
Oh, they've made a mistake there. Unless there's another word for bucket. Yes, pail. Pail. Yes.
In the rain or in the hail, together all
Come on
the
now.
way. You can tie us to the rail, or when I land up in
That's funny. There's no A sound in letters. Oh, no. But there's a word for letters and anything that comes through the post which does have that sound in it. Mail.
You will always hear us say, A and I, we ride the plane together, and the trail takes us with it everywhere.
Hey,
A-I.
come on. Behave yourselves. I'll let you into a secret. I don't know what they are. I got them to help you remember A and I together say A. Underneath are racing cars which run on batteries. And on the top, there's an egg box and corks. I call it a corkupine. And how does it make the sound? Well, that's simple too. I play the A and I song fast on my tape recorder.
A and I, we ride the plane together, and the trail takes us with it everywhere. A-I.
Watch out for A and I when you read. You'll see them again.
put an end to your snooping forever?
He nearly didn't have to. Hiding under the wheels of a lorry was just plain daft. Even if I wasn't killed, I could have lost my legs. The things you think of sometimes. And then again, when we were shut up in that place, my first thought was, it's Mike. At last I found him. He can't be on the Beasley's side. But there's still a lot of questions he had to answer. Hey, Jill! Oh, now where's she got to? You? Are. You are. Well, I am, but I am what? Surrounded. You are surrounded. What the? Catch. Ah. The Beasley brothers. Catch the Beasley brothers. I might have guessed this would be one of your tricks. The cheek of it. Come on, Dan, I've got something to show you.
Well, I've got something to show you.
Look, I don't want any more of your silly games.
Now, don't be ungrateful. I've worked myself to death thinking up surprises for you.
Oh, surprises. I can do without your surprises.
You do look funny from up here. Big angry face and tiny little body.
Well, you look funny from down here. Great big feet and tiny brainless head. Look, come on down. I've got a big, exciting surprise of my own.
No, my surprise first.
I give up.
Here we are. See what you can make of this.
It's just a string of rubbish.
Oh, no, it's not. If you're so clever at splitting up long words, here's quite a clever rhyme I've invented for you.
Rhyme?
Yes, if you can find it.
Well, if you invented it, it must be good. Come on, we'll have a go. Oh, yes. Yes, I think I can see the rhymes. Ound. Ound. Ound.
Those aren't words. If I were you, I'd start at the beginning.
Okay, just as easy. Oh, we all know the first word. Joe. And the next three are easy enough. You go on, you shout them out. Went to look. Ah. Now, this is one of those very difficult words. Ah. Round. Round. Around. Joe went to look around. And it's got that ow sound in it. Now, what's the next line? But. Ah, yes. I've seen those names before. Ted and Dennis. But Ted and Dennis. And another ow word. That's it. Found. But Ted and Dennis found Now, this looks a very difficult line. Can you see the first word? Some. Oh yes, I've seen that before. I used that to lay the trail for Jill. Paint. Some paint. I think these two go together. Yes. Some paint upon the and another ow sound. Ground. Some paint upon the ground. Well, come on. Now we can read Jill's rhyme. Joe went to look around, but Ted and Dennis found some paint upon the ground. Well, you know what? I think that's quite good.
Not bad for a beginner, even if I say so myself. Now, show me your surprise.
No chance. We've got a meeting with Ted Beasley.
Surrounded, are we? First you take a breath, then you sort of shout. Shout the word, and oh, and you come out. You've only got to let the words come out of your mouth. There we are, with the song of the South. Before you get a chance to look around, oh, and you make our special sound. Just give an ear and listen how that sounded. There we are, getting surrounded, surrounded. Oh, we're the pair the folks have shouted for, the pair they've cheered and shouted for. Oh, and you, oh, and you, we always shout together. When we sound, it's the greatest sound around, though there may be other letters around. Oh, and you, oh, and you, we make the sound of the sound.
Now, come on, what was it you were going to show me?
Oh no, you've missed your chance. You'll have to wait now. It's reading time. Now I'll show you. Do you know what's in here?
Oh, no, come on, show me.
Letters from our friends.
Gosh, aren't they lovely? Look at this one. It's a picture of you.
That's right. From Halstead. And look at all these songs. Hundreds of them. Hey, come on, let's sing one.
Oh, which one? We can't sing all of them. We'd be here till next Christmas.
Well, they're all good. How can we choose?
Well, I'll choose. I'll close my eyes and make a lucky dip.
Fair enough.
Well, here's one. It's from David Martin. He hasn't got an address, so we can't send him a reply. You'd better sing this one, Joe.
Big Ted Beasley's after me. He says he'll make me sorry. Harry Crabtree's ill in bed. Now where's the Beasley's lorry?
Now, come on, everybody.
What's that?
All together. But
We've no need to despair, Joe. Why should we care, Joe? We'll win out, yes, we'll win out. We'll win out in the end. Here's one for you this time. From Galashiels.
the Beasley brothers steal the sheep, but Joe and I can't prove it. The warden thinks we're telling lies. He makes us feel so stupid.
Now, come on now, all together, the chorus.
But we've no need to despair, Joe. Why should we care, Joe? We'll win out, yes, we'll win out. We'll win out in the end. It all sounds such fun when we sing about it, but it wasn't much fun at the time.
Well, they'll see that for themselves.
Well, meanwhile...
Yeah, let's get on. Yeah, look at that. There we were, held at gunpoint on the canal bank. In a situation like that, you haven't got time to think, you just act. Well, it's like a goalkeeper. Many a time he does the right thing without even thinking about it. I used to fancy myself as a footballer, you know. Yes, a footballer. I wonder if I could still... There's a ball round here somewhere. Yes, I once had a trial with Liverpool, you know. You wouldn't believe that. But I did. I was on the right wing. The right wing. The ball came out to me, and the fullback lunged in. I pushed it through his legs and sped up the wing, leaving him stranded. The fullback stranded. I was through. I cut inside, and the goalkeeper came out to narrow the angle. A right-footed shot, the goalkeeper tipped the ball against the bar, and then he fell to the floor helpless. The goalkeeper, helpless. The ball rebounded back to me. Now, do you get the picture? The full-back, stranded. The goalkeeper, helpless. My big chance. Do you know what I did? I was so surprised, I fell over my own feet. They didn't ask me back. Well, perhaps it's as well. I don't think I've got the skill to be a first-class player. But I've still got the letter they first sent me. Yes, it's round here somewhere. Tell you what, you have a look at this, and I'll go and find it.
Away! They're getting away!
Today, today.
Today, we're gonna sway, sway, sway. We're gonna chase both the Beasleys away. Today, we're gonna sway, sway, sway. We're gonna chase both the Beasleys away. A and Y together play. A and Y together play. A and Y make a holiday. Listen to what we say. A and Y make a holiday.
A.
Listen to what we say.
A.
Listen hard to what we say. Ted and Dennis go away. Ted and Dennis go away. Listen to what we say. A and Y will make you pay.
A.
Listen to what we say.
A.
A and Y will make you pay. A and Y will make you pay. Ted and Dennis go away. Listen to what we say. Oh, listen to what we say. Today, we're gonna sway, sway, sway. We're gonna chase both the Beasleys away. Today, we're gonna sway, sway, sway. We're gonna chase both the Beasleys away. We're gonna chase both the Beasleys away.
Hello, Joe. Shop. Where the heck is he? Oh, hello. He's been playing with this then, has he? I bet he's been talking to you about his trial he had for Liverpool. I thought he'd get on to that before he was finished. But I bet there's one thing he hasn't told you about. I bet he hasn't told you about how he nearly missed his chance. Oh. You're going to show him your famous letter then, are you?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yes, I don't suppose you told them how you almost missed your trial.
Oh, no, I didn't mention that. I forgot.
Oh, did you? Well, I haven't. Maybe I should tell them.
Oh, no, come on, you wouldn't do that.
Oh, better still, I could show them, see if they can spot the mistake that you made for themselves. Come in here.
No, nothing.
Right, now then. Look at this. What's that word? Tuesday. Have you got that? Tuesday. Right, now read this. Yes. Thursday. Oh, I know the day part is the same in both. And the first letter is the same. But the beginning is different, and that's what counts. Tuesday, Thursday. Right, now this is my point. This is the letter that Joe received. Dear Joe Norland. Well, read it for yourselves. Trials will take place during the week of the 26th. Will you please report to the ground on Now, if you had received this letter, what day would you have gone on? Tuesday. Right. So would I. But not poor old Joe, oh no. He looked at that and thought the word was Thursday. Oh, Joe can read all right now, but there was a time when he didn't read so well. Isn't that true, Joe?
It's true enough.
Yeah, poor old Joe. He looked at the letter and mistook Tuesday for Thursday and turned up 2 days late for his trial. His big chance. Still, they let him do his stuff, so that's all right. You see, he was a slow learner at school. He had to work hard to catch up.
Yeah. It's all true. When I was your age, I couldn't have written songs like those you sent to me. Well, have you seen them?
No, I've been too busy doing your job.
Well, come on. I've got something for you.
For me?
Yes, a request. Don't worry, Alison in Hull. I won't let him wriggle out of this one. Wait till you see them. Now, take a look at these. Aren't they marvellous?
Oh, yeah.
And here's the one for you.
Oh. Please may Mr. West sing this one?
Well, go on. Sing it.
Oh, well, all right, I'll try. But I warned you last time I sang it rained for a fortnight.
Come on, we've written it out for you.
All right. Look, why don't we all read through it once together, then they can help me. Your sheep have all been stolen, Joe. But we'll get them back. Don't worry, though. There's rustlers out today, Joe. I think they're the local lads, you know. They've all your sheep. You know, young Joe. But we'll have them in the end. Ready? Your sheep have all been stolen, Joe, but we'll get them back. Don't worry, though. All right? There's rustlers out today, Joe. I think they're the local lads, you know. They've all your sheep, you know, young Joe. But we'll have them in the end. We'll have them in the end. Woo! How's that?
Oh, very good. You surprised me.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Let's have another one.
Well, hang on. I wish we could. But they want to see the end of the story.
Oh, yes, the end. And so they won't be coming to see us anymore, then?
Well, they don't need us anymore, now do they? Well, look at the letters and the pictures.
Yeah, the songs are great.
Yes. You don't need me anymore. You can carry on by yourselves. Well, I don't need you to help me write anymore, now do I?
No, that's true. Fair enough.
Fair enough.